Hi, every. This is gonna drive me crazy. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. I'm working on this little Christmas tree today. I meant to measure it. I guess it's like 2.5 feet. It's little. Um, I'm all stopped up, so forgiveness, please. Um, yeah, this is going in my kitchen, and I just want it to be like very vintagey. I want it to be loaded up with ornaments, and I have a couple of actual like vintage ornaments to put on here. So let's do it. Um, this has been wired with lights. I flocked it again pretty heavily just to cover up the wires and everything, and I'm gonna lose a lot of flocking, but that's fine. There's more than enough on here, and it hid the wires really well from the last video. So I'm gonna start with. I thought these were all gonna stick in here really nice, but uh, no such luck. I got these because they're plastic ornaments. They're from the what is it called? The My Little Christmas area from Hobby Lobby. I got these because they look. I mean, if this was just on a tree, if this was just on a tree like this, you can barely see the seam. It's actually got a metal cap. It looks like glass, but it's plastic because I've dropped this thing like 15 times. So, you know, I got these. I wish I had gotten more of them. I only got 2 packs, which is 48. And I have a pack of these, which I think these are like too small, but I'm gonna put them on there anyway. And then I have some tinsel from. This is just the tinsel with the little stars on it from. This is the weirdest camera angle, you guys. I'm sorry. I can't get the whole tree in here. The tinsel from Dollar Tree. I got gold. I don't know why. It's in a champagne bucket. Any other, the tree is gonna be in a champagne bucket. Let me That's the stuff I got. Oh, and here's the vintage ornaments. They're all little mini shiny brights from. I think they're probably from the 50s. Nothing, nothing too special. But did you even see that? That's what they look like. All right, I don't know that that's any better. I was trying not to get the screen back here, but it is what it is. I think could I film it with my camera? Anyway, so these are the vintage ornaments. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like maybe a dozen in here, and I have some other ones somewhere, but I don't know where they're at. So I'm going to start with my light bulbs. See, the only problem with moving it back here is that now I'm going to have to like reach for it, but I can handle that. I'm going to start with my little light bulbs. So yeah, these are they're pretty nice. Probably should have done. Oh my god, these are supposed to be like for kids' Christmas trees. That was the most work I've done all year. All right, I'm gonna attach these with. I just cut some pipe cleaners to like. I mean, this is like 1.5 inches. It should be more than enough. I don't like using. I hate these things. Like I'm not doing that, and I don't want them to hang. Like I want them to be attached. I don't want it to be hanging like here. I want it to be. Oh, will it just slide on there? I want it to look like that, but not sticking right at all the tips. So I cut these, and I'm just gonna go through and wire them on. I'm just gonna go over once. I probably won't change this tree. Um, I have one in my office that's been decorated for a couple of years now, and I put the ornaments on the same way. Because the way these trees come, they come in like a pretty narrow box, and you're not getting this tree back in there. And not, oh, I hate the flocking, and not just because it's got the flocking on it and it would go everywhere, but it's I mean, it's like all. Has anybody ever gotten a Christmas tree and then successfully gotten it back in the box? My mom actually, yeah, this is not going to be like a very, um, I'm checking on camera, a very informative video because I'm just going to kind of be doing this, but I was going to go live, but I actually wanted to make a video on this just because I think it's going to be cute. My mom got a new Christmas tree. She got it yesterday when I went over by her house. She was like, I got a Christmas tree, and I was like, oh my god, because she had a tree, a little. It wasn't nicer than this one, but I bought it for her, and for some reason it was like $40, and it's a tiny tree. What did I do after the red, the green? No, I don't really care about. I just want to make sure my colors are like evenly distributed. Um, I don't know why I bought it because she had this giant sofa, and when she moved into the new house, she had a much smaller living room with still this giant sofa. So this year she got rid of the giant sofa, and I was like, "Hey, you could get a regular sized tree," and she was like, "Oh, I don't know, I like the little one," and I was like, "Please get a regular sized tree," not because I felt like she needed it. It was just we went over there on Christmas morning, and I was like, "I don't like this. I don't like this." This little bitty tiny Christmas tree because it was like a tabletop tree, which is perfect. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it. I was just like, it doesn't feel like Christmas. All right, so I'm just gonna do like one layer of those. I know I'm. Oh no, I guess I'm gonna have to go back to Hobby Lobby if I don't have enough. That would be terrible. Hobby Lobby is actually 60% off right now, so for Christmas, so it's not the worst idea. But yeah, she got the tree, and I was like, "Let me see it." She's like, "It's in the car." Well, I'll tell you all about this Walmart situation too. She's like, "It's in the car," and I was like, "Oh, okay." But she went out and got it and like set it up, and I was looking at it, and y'all know I'm not doing a tree this year. I've said that a couple different times on live, on Instagram, all over the place. Um, but like I saw the tree go up, and I was like, "Can I come decorate your tree?" And she was like, "My mom hates when I decorate trees because she says there's too much stuff." And I was like, "It's Christmas. Like, it's Christmas. It's supposed to have a bunch of stuff on it." But I mean, I get it. I'm not like, oh God, she's wrong and I'm right. I mean, I am right and she's wrong, but we don't need to talk about that. Um, but I was like, I want to do it, and I also kind of want the challenge of doing something that she's like would like not going completely overboard. So she's like, "Are you gonna use my ornaments?" And I was like, maybe. These really do look like glass, y'all. I can't believe that. I hope they. Is it show? These even showing up on here? I mean, kinda. Um, I was like, yeah, I'll look around and see what I have. I'm not gonna do a big theme tree. I just want to keep it like traditional because that's what she likes, and she hates glitter, and she hates shiny, and she hates gold, and she hates silver. So it's this is like my biggest challenge yet. Not hand making 1,000 ornaments last year, or making a garland, or what was it? The rose gold tree had 1,400 ornaments on it. No, it's just going to be a little. It's a real thin 7 foot tree, but it fit like perfectly in front of her window. I mean, isn't it always the dream to have the Christmas tree in front of the window? I was looking for some ribbon, like some thin ribbon, when I was at Walmart yesterday. Did I go to Walmart today? What did I do today? I went to Dollar Tree today to get this stuff, but um, I went yesterday. First of all, if you're watching the live the other day, and I was like, "Yo, so I washed my toaster oven and it made my kitchen explode." I ordered a new air fryer, and I was like, I'll just get an air fryer instead of a toaster oven, whatever. So, I'm like, I'll treat myself. I don't know what I'm treating myself for because I haven't sold a wreath in like, I think I sold like 12 wreaths this year. Um, but I was like, I'm gonna treat myself, buy me a fancy air fryer since all I eat is chicken strips and mashed potatoes now. Um, so I'm on Amazon. I'm getting back to the story about Walmart. Don't worry, y'all. I'm on Amazon looking through the air fryers, and I'm like, I don't want to put this red on top of this other red. Looking through the air fryers, I finally found one. It's like $100 and something, and I'm like, all right, so order it. All right, it'll be 2 days. And then this, I get up and I take the dog OUT, and I'm like, man, I really want some tater tots. If y'all have had these mini, I'm so used to my hand being here that I'm like gesturing down here where you can't see. Mini tater tots. I think they're Arida. Is that the red bag? There were no potatoes the other day when I was at Walmart, and I was like, okay, so I got the mini tater tots. Y'all, these things, they bomb. They're so good. They're little bitty, like they're like this big, and they get super crispy. So I was like, man, I was gonna, was getting ready to fix my breakfast, and I was like, I wish I could throw some tater tots in my oven, but, I washed it and it exploded, and then I looked at it and I was like, let me see. So I plugged it in, and of course, plugged it in, worked perfectly. Now it's all clean and it works. So I canceled the other, the air fryer. But anyway, the other morning, when I went to go buy something, I went there. Look, ever since I had my tooth taken out, I have not been able to like. Well, I can now, but it's still like painful. But I've been eating those Castle burgers. The ones you microwave them, and then they're like gooey and gross, but they're so good. They have the Castle Burger ones, and then they have the Great Value ones, and I prefer the Great Value ones because they're like $4 cheaper, and I think they taste better. Like the Castle Burgers ones don't taste like anything. So I'm like at Walmart every other day looking for these. I pull up at Walmart on today's Friday. It must have been Thursday, yesterday. Um, Looking for ornament. No, look. I pull up and I'm going to like look for ornaments. I need groceries. I need paper towels. I need this, that, and the other thing. And I pull up the parking, and it's six in the morning because y'all know how I do. How did I put so many greens on here? Pull up 6 in the morning. It is pitch black. And I'm not talking about like, oh, it's really dark. Like, oh, it's dark outside. None of the lights in the parking lot are on because they're doing something. I don't know what they're doing. They're like tearing up the parking lot like a third at a time to level it out. I think my mom said. Not really sure. But like a section of the parking lot's all torn out, and there is not a single light anywhere in the parking lot. And it's 6 o'clock in the morning, so it's still dark. I mean, I can't wait until next week if it's not fixed, and we, after daylight savings time, and it's like extra super dark. So I'm just like, this makes me feel uncomfortable because like, not that I live in like a bad area or anything, but I don't know, it's creepy. Like there wasn't even any light. There weren't even any lights like attached to the building that would illuminate the parking lot a little bit. So like made sure I had everything, jumped out of my car, locked it, and like ran to the door. And then I told my mom, I was like, "Did you know that the parking lot lights are out?" And she was like, "No, what happened?" And I was like, "I don't know." But she works at night and she leaves at like 10 o'clock. And when I talked to her today, she was like, yeah, it was scary. There wasn't anybody there to like walk any of us out. And she said all day, because she's a team lead for apparel. So if somebody needs a break, like she goes on the phone. I don't know why. Like I'd be like, y'all pay me a lot of money to be answering the phones, but whatever. She said a bunch of people were calling saying that they're not shopping there until the lights are fixed, which, of course, y'all are still going to shop there. Calm down. calm down, Brenda. Um, but I was like, like if I'm a big dude. I think if like somebody was gonna jump anybody, they'd look at me and be like, is there anyone, is there anyone that like is not so big and tall? But like my mom's little and she's older, and she works with a lot of older women. And I said that, I mean, it's a safety concern because there's not a lot of, like, our Walmart's not like you know in the middle of nowhere, but there's not like a lot around it. Like there's a huge park next to it that doesn't really give off much light. There's nothing across the street. There's nothing on the other side of it. So it's like dark. That's all. I was like, you just need to call corporate or home office or whoever and tell them like, hey, this needs to be fixed. But apparently, what she said when I talked to her at lunch today is that I'm gonna cut these again because I don't think I. Can you believe that? Of course, I'm doing this, and I'm like, I don't think I have any more white pipe cleaners. Um, some kind of circuit got blown when they were tearing up the other thing, and now somebody needs to do something, but they need to put in a work order because the building is Walmart's property, but the parking lot is the parish's. I was like, that sounds like bureaucratic BS. And if the parish needs to do something, it's going to be forever. But I'm hoping it gets fixed because I do not like the idea of my mom having to leave Walmart in the dark. And she's like, and I could never find, I can't, she can never find her car. Because, why is this like this? Green, green, green. I don't like that, but whatever. You're not supposed to park. If you're an employee, you're not supposed to park within the first 3 aisles. Like, it's like the store, a set of lights, a set of lights, a set of lights. You're supposed to park behind the third set of lights, which I don't know why she does it because I've already been there and there's people who are parked like in the first spot that get out in their Walmart uniform to go to work. So I was like, so you decided to buy this Christmas tree last night, and you're just like walking it out to your car, loading it in the trunk when it's like completely blackout. I'm gonna have to get her some of that bear mace. Alright, do y'all want me to move this so y'all can see me doing the top? I mean, it doesn't matter. Okay, now you get to see the screen doubled and the lights in the way, so this is a great video. I think I'm not going to be able to post this on a Wednesday. I went live last night making, are they over here? No, because I cleaned them up because I'm a good boy. I've been cleaning my house. I've been putting stuff away. I made some ornaments. Well, I made one ornament last night on live, and it was fun just to hang out because like sometimes like I'm doing stuff during the day, and then after I eat dinner and I'm like, all right, well, I'm either gonna go like lay in bed and read or lay in bed and watch a movie or watch YouTube or whatever. And then I'm like, no, I don't want to do that because it's still early and I don't want to be lazy. And then I think about going live, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that either. Only because it's just not that it's a pain to set up, it's just this table is always covered. But I was glad I went live last night. We had a lot of people in there, and it was just fun hanging out. I mean, I wasn't doing anything that was like terribly captivating. Oh, no, why do you keep sneaking in here, you damn red and you green? And I can't get over how like, I mean, I know it's plastic, but they really look like glass. I'd really like to add an ornament to every branch. I mean, I don't have enough to do that, but that would be very cool. Alright, I see a spot for a red, like up in here somewhere. Is anybody watching the interview with the Vampire TV series? I started watching it and I was like, I hate this girl. And now I'm like, I love this girl. Um, I don't really understand why they moved the timeline around and why they continued. Like it's a continuation, but it's a retelling, and it's very weird. But I'm enjoying it so far. Um, but the finale's next week, and I was like, they only made 7 episodes. But so I watched that this morning because I think that comes on Sunday. I never remember until I'm like, hey, what happened to that show I was watching? Then I look at it and I'm like, oh, there's like 15 episodes I missed. I did that with Abbott Elementary. I was watching that on Hulu, and then I don't know if I just forgot about it, but then all of a sudden I looked and it was like season 2, episode 12, and I was like, wait, what? I was like, I thought it was. So I started watching. I'm still on season 1. But that's funny too. It kind of reminds me of The Office, or like Parks and Rec, but not as good. And I like that the teachers are as stupid as the students. Oh, I went by my mom's house this morning. She was watching, like, as soon as the Christmas, like, she's not a Christmas person, like, at all. I mean, clearly she hates my trees, and that's just clearly an anti-Christmas thing. It can't possibly be anything I've done wrong. Um, but once the Christmas movies start, like, nonstop on Hallmark and Lifetime or whatever, like, she's just watching them all the time. I went over to her house this morning after I went to Dollar Tree and Dollar General, and some stupid movie was on. I was like, these movies, I could write one of these movies in 45 minutes. Like, fully type the script. I could come up with an idea in like 2 minutes. And she was like, oh, that's so good though. And I was like, are you saying they're actually good, or are you like you watching them ironically? She's like, oh no, that's terrible. And I was like, okay. I just didn't want you to think that these were like actually great movies. But to each their own. I mean, there's a couple that I like. But like, as much as I'm like, these are so stupid. I stayed by her house mostly because I had just bought some yarn and a new crochet hook, and I was trying to crochet something because I needed to try something. I needed her to try something on, and I forgot it at home. So I was like, I forgot it at home. I'll just crochet another one when I get to her house, which I did. Um, so I was like sitting there crocheting and watching it, and I was like, what is this stupid stuff? What's going on? Why do they need to have a Christmas pageant? Why does this guy hate Christmas? Oh God, his wife left him around Christmas. Oh, and now he's a single dad raising his kid by himself, and has no money in the budget for the theater program at school, and they have to throw a fundraiser. And it always makes me slightly depressed because it's like one of the previews is on there like Saturday night, Beau Bridges, and I was like, Beau Bridges, wasn't he a real actor? Not that they're not real actors, but I mean, I mean, you get to a point where you start doing Lifetime movies, and I think like maybe people do them. I mean, not Lifetime movies, like Hallmark movies. I think people do them because they take like 2 weeks to shoot. And if you're like on a TV show regularly and you have free time during while you're off, One of my favorites one is called, it's from a while ago, it's called Christmas on Strike, where Daphne Zuniga, she's got to bake all these cookies and decorate the house and wrap all the presents, and she says, no, I'm not doing it, I'm going on strike, and her husband and her sons are like, well, we don't know how to do things, because you've always done stuff, and she's like, well, figure it out. And she does. They do. I also like the Christmas House. And there's one with Dawson from Dawson's Creek, and the mom from Everybody Loves Raymond. So it's James Vanderbeek and the mom from Everybody Loves Raymond. I think it's like the Christmas. It's something, It's a single dad, because of course either the one of the parents has to not be there. Like you've got a two-parent situation, then it's a Christmas movie about divorce. Like either one of the parents is dead, or what? How do I keep running out of green? Um, the parents are either divorced or widowed or something, and somebody new comes to town. I'm gonna move that over some. I need a red one somewhere up in there. The pipe cleaners. I know I have to have some more somewhere. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Well, I mean, if I needed brown, we'd be set. I like how I say talk amongst yourself like I'm live. Let me go check the office. Maybe. Oh, business, you moved your bed directly behind my chair so I can get out? That's cool. I like that. That's cute. Look, my hoarding has paid off yet again. I just cut these like, whatever. I mean, I could definitely write a Christmas movie that one. I say our Christmas movie is set in New England, because why not? I mean, we're going to shoot it in California in the middle of the summer, but we're going to pretend like it's in New England in the middle of winter. It is about a man who is widowed, and he doesn't have a kid, but he has a dog. A handy-capable dog, probably. And he runs a specialty store devoted to handmade Christmas stockings. And he's got this sweet little town, but they're building it in a state, and they want to move his store. And he says no, because it's his parents' store, and they died tragically in a boating accident last Christmas, the Christmas after his wife died, or before his wife died. And he's like, I'm never leaving this Christmas. I gotta stand up, y'all. I mean, I can't because the dog's directly behind me. Can I move you over? Thank you. Can we still see? Do I have to move up again? Oh god, y'all seen how messy everything is. Can you see the star up there? Look at that. So, he's like, I'm not selling. This is my family's handmade. My grandfather started this handmade Christmas stocking shop that's open year round. And even though I don't make it a lot of money, it's important to me. And my handy-capable dog, whose name is something like Fruitcake. Like, it's gotta be a Christmassy name, right? So, we go to California, where there is a workaholic woman who is not very nice. She's like a Christmas bitch. And her boss comes in, and he's even worse. He's like a Christmas bitch, but he gets paid more because he's a man. And he's like, hey, and her name is something like Holly, Noel, peppermint bark. He's like, you need to go to New England and get this deal done because we want to build this interstate because that's all we care about in California. And she's like, I can't go back there. That's my hometown. And he's like, well, listen, you either do it or you're fired. And she's like, oh God, but I can't. I have a sexy boyfriend, and we're going on a cruise for Christmas, and I can't be there. And he's like, well, you better get it done if you want to go on your cruise with your sexy boyfriend. And his name is probably like Chad because he's gonna probably told Chad. Um, I'm adding some more down here. I'm not moving the camera again because that's a lot for me. So she tells Chad, and he's like, what do you mean you have to go back to your hometown? What about Santa, your ex-boyfriend who owns that Christmas stocking store? And she's like, oh my God, Chad, don't be jealous. Like we were kids, and we did have a child together, but like no big deal. And he's married anyway, and he's happy, and he's got like parents that are dead. So then she goes back and she's like, oh, Chad. No, what's his name? Santa. Oh, Santa. His name would probably be Nick. I don't know if his name would be Santa, but who knows? It depends on how desperate Lifetime is when they get this spec script. Y'all better not steal this script either, because I know a lot of y'all are like, oh, let me take some notes. So she goes back to, the town would probably be called, let me just guess, like Eggnog Forest, Eggnog Village, Eggnog Village Forest, the forest, the forest moon of Endor, the forest moon of Eggnog. Okay, so she goes back there, and she's like, "Oh, Santa, I can't believe you still have this shop. How are your parents?" And he's like, "Oh, they're dead." Oh no, and he's like, "Yeah, they died in a tragic boating accident, um, right after my wife died." And she's like, "Oh God." Well, did you have any kids? And he's like, yeah, I had a dog. I have a dog, but it's only got 3 legs. And she's like, oh, that's terrible. Listen, I need to go on a cruise with my sexy boyfriend Chad. And, like, honestly, we need to close this deal because Hollywood wants to put a interstate through here, and it's going to do a lot of good for business, but you got to move your store, and we're going to give you a lot of money. And he's like, it's never been about that money for me, Holly Noel. And while she's there, she finds one of her like her best friend from high school who's like super into Christmas, who she hasn't talked to in a while because she's been in Los Angeles like doing sexy time with Dr. Chad. Um, and she's like, "Oh, why don't you come help me?" And she's like, "Oh no, thanks. I don't like helping people unless I get money, because that's all that matters to me is money." Okay, she's starting to sound like me, but it's not me, I promise. If anybody, I'm the handy-capable dog. What's his name? Peppermint Bark. Um, At these little bitty ones. They look kind of crappy, but why not? So the friend's like, you've forgotten all about Christmas. Don't you remember the snowball fest? In the gingerbread dance when we were kids?" And she's like, oh my God, I completely forgot about the snowball fest. And she's like, you a gingerbread queen, Noelle Holly. How could you forget that? And she's like, I don't know, I'm just having such great sex with my doctor, boyfriend, Dr. Nick. He's a cardiologist, so he's got a good heart, but he's kind of a dick. So she's like, well, you should definitely, they'd love you. It's the 25th anniversary of the Snowball Fall Gingerbread Fest over here on the fourth moon of Eggnog. You should definitely, like, talk to the people in charge because it would be awesome if you could, like, show up because all some of the other queens from the Snowball Gingerbread Fest are going to be there. And I know they'd love to have you, especially because you're so successful. And I heard you have a sexy boyfriend who's a doctor. And she's like, okay, well, like, who's in charge? And they're like, oh, well, you need to go talk to Santa Nick. And she's like, oh, no, I just got in a big fight with Santa Nick because I want to destroy his family store and put it in an interstate to California. So then they have to start working together, and it's like, he's not into it because like he's a good guy, obviously. I mean, he's got a dog, the three-legged dog named Peppermint Bark, and get it because it's like Peppermint Bark, because that's what dogs do whenever they hear a cricket fart. At least that's what my dog does. So like he's a nice guy, but like also he's like, I don't like this woman coming here from California trying to like steal my family's store. And the dog is just like, I don't like that. I don't like her either because the dog doesn't talk, but like, he's like when she comes over, like he like puts his hands over his head. He puts his little paws over his head, and then Santa Nick is like, oh man, I don't know what's wrong with Peppermint Bark. He's never like that. He loves people. And she's like, oh, well, he doesn't seem to love me. And then, Santa Nick is like, well, you're kind of California, bitch. But that's fine. Maybe that's such a little Christmas, bitch. So they put the pageant together, and everything's going great. And then the night before, the town burns down, and they can't have the pageant anymore because the place they were going to have it burned down, and they don't know what to do. And she says, well, we already bought most of this town because we're going to put a giant interstate through here to get to California from New England for all the people who need to get from California to New England. So, like, I guess we could do it anywhere. And he's like, oh, you would do that for us? And she's like, yeah. And then her boss calls, and her boss is like, why don't you close this deal? And she's like, I'm trying to close the deal. He's just, he loves his, what does he make? He loves his wreath store so much. His grandfather started it. He's super attached to this wreath store. Handmade Christmas stockings that he sells year round for some godforsaken reason. Probably because he lives on the forest moon of eggnog. And he's like, listen, if you don't close this by midnight tonight, you're fired. And she's like, no. And then she's like, you know what? It doesn't matter because I have like a sexy boyfriend and whatever. And I like, even though I'm increasingly attracted to Santa Nick, and Peppermint Bark is like starting to warm up to me because I came over with like a summer sausage in my pocket and like some like cheese, some string cheese, and the dog came up to me and like I got him to start liking me, and like all this. Like I can't lose my job, but at least I still have my sexy boyfriend. And then the boyfriend calls and he's like, listen, babe, I need to know how many banana hammocks to pack for our cruise. Like, when are you coming back? Because I don't know how to pack stuff because my parents were also killed in a tragic boating accident. And I need help, even though I'm a doctor. And she's like, well, I'm going to have to stay through Christmas. And he's like, you know what? You know what? Noel Holly, this isn't working for me. You're selfish. I'm a heart doctor. Also, I'm sleeping with my nurse. His name is Candy Corn Halloween. And we hate Christmas. And she's like, oh no. So she loses her. She's like, no, I can't lose my job. So she rushes to the airport and she leaves. And then like on the plane, she's like, oh my god, I just realized that I love Candy Cane Nick. No, Santa Nick. God, yo, we're gonna have to. Is somebody taking notes? Because we're gonna have to figure this cast out. All I know is I want the girl from I want Candace Cameron Bruinette to play somebody who gets killed because I love that idea. Um, the girl from Father of the Bride, she's got to play. She's gonna play Noel Holly, obviously. I want that gay guy to play Santa Jack Nick, Santa Nick. And the boss should probably be Jennifer Garner's dad from Alias, Vincent D'Onofrio. I think that's his name. Or Beau Bridges, whoever. And I think like the dead parent should probably be like, I don't know, that chick from Who's the Boss that got the facial peel and like she looked like a horrible monster when she went to that event. I forget what her name is. I think it's Joanna Gaines from Who's the Boss. And then the dad will be either Vincent D'Onofrio, Jennifer Garner's dad from Alias, or Beau Bridges, whoever's left. And then she's on the flight and she's on her way back to LA to try to save her job and, stop her hot boyfriend from hooking up with his nurse, Candy Corn Halloween. I know her name because, I mean, come on, she's sexy. Like, she's blonde. Noelle Holly just has, like, boring gingerbread colored hair. Um, So she's like, I can't leave. I have to go back. And they're like, ma'am, we are 40,000 feet in the air. You're going to have to sit down before this file marshal shoots you. And she's like, no, listen, I have to go back. I have to tell Santa Nick how I feel about him because I just realized once I'm on this plane, like, I definitely can't, like, just call him or text him once I land. I need to tell him tonight before they light the tree in the burned down town and before the pageant. So she's like, I need to get off this plane. The stewardess is like, ma'am, you need to calm the hell down before you end up on YouTube. And she's like, I would love to end up on YouTube. I would film a day in the life video of me like just doing stuff and showing my morning routine and pretending like I do stuff. Pretending I get up at 3 in the morning. And the stewardess is like, listen, this is a lot, okay? This is a lot that you're telling me right now, and I don't know, and I need to know all this. And then the plane starts shaking, and she's like, okay, we're going to find the final destination, this mofo here. This whole damn plane's going to explode, but she's going to survive, probably. So that's what she's thinking. And then, like, they're like, Captain, what's wrong? Captain, come in. And they go to the captain, and he's not there because he's falling on the ground because he's got the sugars. And his sugars are messed up. And the other captain is, because you need, like, 2 pilots, right? The other pilot, it turns out he was just like a one of those capybaras. So they're like, oh my god, this plane is gonna crash because this one passed out from the sugars, and the other one was just one of those giant swamp rats. And Holly Noel is like, listen, I know this has not come up before, but I can actually fly a commercial plane. So she gets in there like, okay, she's going to take us to LA. She's doing a good job. She's like, we're not going to LA. And everybody's like, what about Christmas? She's like, what about Christmas? Y'all are going to have Christmas in a forest moon of eggnog. So she goes and she lands the plane in the middle of town, almost knocks over the Christmas tree. And then she runs out and she tells Santa Nick, she's like, I love you. And that's why I came back. And he's like, you couldn't have texted me? Because now there's a plane in the middle of a destroyed town, and she's like, that doesn't matter anymore. All that matters is that I love you, and I love peppermint bark, and I don't love my sexy boyfriend anymore. And he's like, are you sure? Because he was like a sexy doctor, and I'm just a humble handmade stocking maker. And she's like, yeah, we're gonna make this work. And then they cut to a year later, where the town has been rebuilt. She's totally preggers. Unmarried, but preggers, like Mary, so it's okay. She's preggers. She's knocked up. Town has been rebuilt. The NSA people have been like, you know what, we thought about it, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to build a superhighway between New England and California. And, I don't know, Chad got some kind of warts on his butt, and he's single and lonely, and the boss, who threatened to fire her, his wife left him for her therapist, and he went crazy, and then she got his job, Noelle Holly got his job, but she can work remotely, so everything's good, and they saved the store, and they saved the town, and then, when they open in Christmas presents, there's a bunch of stuff for the baby, and then there's one from Santa, and they open it up, and it's a prosthetic leg for the dog. So, that's my idea. I mean, I don't know if it's perfect, but I think it's pretty damn close, and it's probably going to be called Christmas Bitch. I just think that, like, if you're watching, like, you're watching Lifetime or Hallmark, and then the channel comes on, they're like, this Saturday, an all-new movie premiere, and it's, like, her saying, like, I can't go back to my hometown, that's where I came from. And they're like, you better go. And the doctor being like, I'm gonna miss you, but remember to come back for our sexy cruise where we're gonna do sexy adult stuff. And then like, and then it's like this Saturday on Hallmark at 8 o'clock 7 Central, the world premiere movie event, A Christmas Bitch. I just think it's brilliant. I mean, I don't get emotional very often, but also I like to put all the ornaments in this one section. Look at this thing. All right, since I only have a couple of these, you remember these from 45 minutes ago? I'm going to put those in the front. And we're going to add our little tinsley garland. And yeah, I mean, I could definitely pitch a sequel to Christmas Bitch. I'm not going to, though. Because the more I talk, the more my throat hurts and my lips are real chapped. And, you know. But this is real cute, huh? A little traditional for me. Feels like I should put some peacock feathers in it or something. Let's see how. Let me look through them. Oh, you can barely see anything. Good. Um, See how it looks nice that the ornaments are like right up on the branch? So maybe in the sequel, here we go. In the sequel, the baby's born on Christmas, but the baby hates Christmas. And the dad is like, this does not work for me. Let's take that baby out on a boat and just pray nothing happens to it, like nothing happened to my parents. Because I can't deal with that. And Holly, what's her name? Holly Noella's like, no! Before we throw the baby in the ocean, let's try to convince it about the magic of Christmas. And it turns out the baby doesn't actually hate Christmas. She just hates cotton poly blends. And then he opens a store in the next town over that also sells handmade Christmas stockings. And it ends with her on Christmas morning a year later finding out she's preggers again. And her friend is like, damn, y'all ain't never heard of no contraceptives? But she should also probably fly a plane in the second movie, too, huh? Oh well, we'll figure it out. We'll brainstorm it. We got 3 weeks to figure it out. That's how long it takes to get these movies made. We gotta find Luke McFarlane, though. I will not have this movie made without Luke McFarlane. Alright, now I gotta pay attention, because these actually are glass. And they were expensive. They weren't too expensive, but they were expensive enough at the time. I think I actually got these from a crazy thrift store that was full of meth heads. I'll have to ask Michelle. But look, there's a little tiny indent ornament. How cute is that? Yo, when my movie comes out on DVD, y'all gonna buy it or y'all just gonna watch it or like TiVo it and then just like keep it? Y'all gonna DVR it and then just keep it and not pay for it? What kind of behind the scenes feature? Should we have a feature on how we got the dog to only have one leg? Oh, the dog got full use of the prosthesis in the second movie too. Also, it's going to be a completely different dog. Like the first dog is like a terrier, and the second dog is going to be a Dalmatian. This is going up against the wall, so I don't know why I put ornaments all along the back, but who hung these with these giant hooks? Look at that. something candy corn pumpkin or whatever. Candy corn pumpkin. Y'all, I'm gonna edit this video and be like, how high was I? And the answer was, I wasn't at all. This is cute. I think y'all are gonna like my little Christmas display. I hung up like... Did you just pee on the floor? Oh my god, I'm gonna take you out on a boat. Whatever happens, happens. Oh, you just scratching. He's been scratching a lot. He's been rubbing himself up against everything like he a damn cat. He's like, oh god, I'm a kitty cat. I like to rub up against stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing? So the other day I was like, I'm gonna take a shower. And he was like rubbing up against everything. And I was like, and you're coming with me, y'all? That was the worst idea I've ever had. He's like, what are you doing? I don't like this. And I was like, I'm giving you a bath while I'm in the shower. So I'm like holding him. He's covered in soap. He's like clawing at my neck. And I'm like bent over trying to like massage his special expensive dog shampoo. Oh my god, these stupid hooks. His bougie dog shampoo. And he's like, oh my god, I hate it. I want to claw your face off. And I was like, okay. I mean, that's how you feel, but don't. This is so freaking cute. I could throw up on it. That's going to be the name of this video. It's going to be a blurred out picture of this tree and it's going to say, so cute, I could throw up on it. I think I'm done making Christmas wreaths too. I was going to do this like Siri chooses your Siri picks out all the stuff for my wreath. Where like I just numbered all the deco mesh and I was like, Siri, pick a number between 1 and 15. And she'd be like, 7. And I'd like pick, have to make a wreath with whatever was picked. But I had everything ready for it and I was like, I don't feel like doing this stupid crap. So now there's just a giant tub with a bunch of mismatched deco mesh and ribbon in it. But that's fine. Whatever, I do what I want. I run with 12 gangs. I love this little indent only. Y'all, this is the sweetest little ornament. I also had this one. I paid $8 for this ornament. And I don't regret it, but it's like, oh, if I could find my other shiny brights, that might be cute. But I'm kind of liking this mess we got going on here. I really like this. Have I said that several times already? I wish it had more blue. Like when I go back to Hobby Lobby 3 times next week, even though it's a half an hour each way to get there, I think I want to try to get some, because there's this one. Yeah, I think it needs blue. And these glass ones will probably be the only ones I'll take off, just because I don't know where I'm going to store this tree once it's all decorated, but I don't want these, I don't want these glass ornaments on there, because my other tree is, oh, that one's full of shiny bright ornaments too. Do I want to take this off and put them on here? No. Because I want it to look like vintagey Christmas. You know, can I zoom out? Am I zoomed out? I'm zoomed all the way in. I zoomed all the way out. Alright. My star's up there. I'm going to take this. And I like this, not because it's from Dollar Tree. I like it because it reminds me of the old tinsel garland. Like it wasn't, like, you know the ones you get into now that are just like super thick and they don't look great. I like this because it looks kind of vintagey. I'm just going to start up here. Look at all the crap up there. Oh, there's yarn. Look at that. Can you see that? No, because there's a Christmas tree in a way. I think I found that yarn the other day, and I was like, hey, there's yarn. That needs to be a little longer, I think. You know what, that guy from Mean Girls, if Luke McFarlane isn't available, the guy from Mean Girls, he could also play what's his face. Now I want to watch Single All the Way. Not Single All the Way. Holiday. There's a Christmas movie with Fran Drescher, and like her son comes to town, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. I want to hook you up with this guy." And he's like, "What?" Which is basically the plot of Single All the Way, except it's a Lifetime. This one's a Lifetime movie instead of a Netflix movie, so it's like much cheaper, and it's Fran Drescher, and she's like, "It's too bad we can't have the Christmas party in the old train station that they're going to tear down." And they show the train station, and it's like the most beautiful train station ever. And I was like, they would never tear that down, Fran Drescher. Also, aren't you Jewish? Why are you so into Christmas? That's not kosher. Maybe it is. I think everybody likes Christmas. Except maybe people who don't celebrate it. I don't know. A lot of people have, like, I've been getting a lot of good feedback on the movie idea. So, I don't even know if I'm going to be here next Christmas to decorate a tree with y'all. But if I am, I'm going to get a Lazy Susan because my arm hurts from turning this tree around. I think my tree in the back has the same garland on it because it's like, but it's silver because the whole tree's silver. Oh. Oh, and I went today. Listen, I came home from my mom's. I took my Ozempic on Tuesday, so like, no, I think I took it on Wednesday. So like, my headache is around. Maybe that's why I'm like off the walls because I've got so much pain medicine in me. I can't feel anything anymore. Do I want to tuck this in more? We think. Yeah, I think I like that a little bit better. I took my Ozempic on Wednesday, so my headache usually it's like 2 days before it like fully comes in and like starts destroying my entire life. So I came home from my mom's and I was like, I'm just gonna lay down. And I laid down and I woke up and I was like, oh crap, I forgot to eat lunch again. Because I've been forgetting, like that's my new thing. Like lunch, I don't know her. So yeah, I'm just like, I wake up and I'm like, I didn't eat anything for lunch. So I was like, I'm gonna go because it's supposed to have really bad weather tomorrow. I was like, I'm gonna go get a pizza from Little Caesars, and that'll be enough for me to eat for lunch, dinner, or lupper, whatever you prefer. I think it's a regional thing. What did you call it? Eat that for like lunch, dinner, and I'll be able to have it for breakfast, and I'll have enough to have for dinner tomorrow night too, because the weather is supposed to be super de duper de bad. That one's too long. But I mean, is she giving you vintage Christmas? Or is she just giving you Mariah Carey mental breakdown? I hope hope this is not the first video of mine somebody's watching where I'm doing something and you can't even see it. That's all my videos. Hanny. 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 Okay, that's enough. See, I think I got a little too swoopy up at the top because it looks better. Here, and I just, this section, I'm like, no. You don't get any tinsel. What the hell? No candy corn pumpkin. Can you just, like, go back? That's what I like better, I think. I tell you, mama. I tell you, friend. I tell anyone that I can get my hand, baby. They usually start playing the Christmas music on one of our Christmas channels on... They used to play it after Thanksgiving, and they were just like, screw it. Halloween night, we're starting Christmas music, but they're not doing it this year. They're like making me wait for it, which is like honestly not cool. But also, I don't listen to the radio in my car because I'm like, I need to read 100 books. Also, I'm like, I have signed up for libraries in New York, Florida, Texas, Louisiana. I'm gonna try California next because I cannot find a copy of Interview with the Vampire on audiobook. That's not like, every one of them's like, you have a 14-week hold, a 14-week wait, and I'm like, no. No, I can't do that, but I also refuse to pay for a book. So I keep signing up for all these libraries, and then, like, you gotta sign up, you gotta wait for them to email you the card number, you gotta enter the card number into Libby, then you gotta search for the books. When I log into Libby, it's like, here's your libraries, and it's like 14 different libraries. So if anybody wants my Florida address, it's the Broward County School Board. That's where I live in Florida, if anybody asks. And my Texas address is Michelle's house, so... I'm just like, I figure, I mean, this is a 40-year-old book I'm looking for, and they're like, one of the libraries is like, we have 10 copies, but there's 50 people waiting for it. I'm assuming it's because of the TV series, which people who are like, I like this TV series, I can't wait to read the book, they're going to be like super disappointed. They're trying to do too much with that TV series, but whatever. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go back and move like some of this in further. Also forgot to put any right here, but... Which I should probably do because that is like the middle of the wreath where all the... That's where my indent ornament is. Michelle goes to this like antique market all the time. She sent me a picture of a whole bean pot, and it said, you know, it said $50 on it. She's like, "You want this for Christmas?" And I sent her back a picture of the one it's the exact same one I have that's on top of my refrigerator. And I was like, "No thanks." But there's always like all this vintage Christmas stuff, which like I really like the vintage Christmas. I don't know that I would ever decorate my whole house with it. But like, there's something so charming about the, like this. Like, I mean, if I could go somewhere and, like, have my pick of those, they're very hard to find down here. I think mostly because everybody who had them lost them, and either one of the devastating hurricanes we had in the 50s, or, like, the devastating hurricanes we had in the 60s, or the one in the 90s, or Katrina. So, and it's not as fun. Like, I know I could just go online and find some, but it's not as fun. But I might go on Etsy and treat myself since I don't have to buy a new air fryer. Look at that. Yeah, I think just this would look perfect with more of the shiny bright. So I want to bring, I think I'm going to take this. And maybe move this one up a little bit. I forgot I could bend the things too, so. What else did I have to put on this? I bought like regular ornaments from Dollar Tree, but I like this. It's gonna look cute once I get everything else done. Which will have to be in another video because I have a screenplay to write. If I don't get a Saturday premiere, like if they stick me on a Wednesday premiere for my movie, I'm going to be so pissed off. So there's my little vintage tree. I want 1,000 more. I'm going to go look for some blue mini ornaments. Even if they're just like these, but I would obviously prefer the vintage ones. Obviously, because I'm a rich, successful YouTuber. I think I made $7 last month. Alright, y'all. Thanks for watching. Don't steal my ideas or I'll kill you in a boating accident. Yeah. Oh no! You come out here. You're a special boy. I'm gonna go listen to The Shining. You know what? You're so special. Hold on. You are so freaking special. Moving you to the front of the class. Yeah, I remember buying this little bag of ornaments, and I was like, oh, they're kind of in bad shape, but they're cute. And then I saw the indent, and I was like, I have to have that. It needs blue. That's what it's missing. Also, I wish this wasn't so bright, but yeah. Alright, I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to take some pictures of it lit. And I will see you guys whenever. I mean, who knows? I don't know. This one's cute too. Man, now I want to go ornament shopping. Alright, guys, thanks for watching. That was crazy. I mean, I could put some this size in here, and I have a couple. Okay. Alright, I'm not going to mess with it anymore tonight. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Pumpkin candy cane.